This week on SailAway, could you handle a 2-night open ocean passage on this 30-year-old catamaran? We're about to find out if we can.
We just splashed yesterday, but the wind direction is just so nice for the next 24 hours that we can't resist.
We just finished an intense week of boatyard work, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. We've got nearly 2,000 miles ahead of us to get back to the States before Christmas for a refit.
We are trucking, y'all.
And this is the first big chunk. This will help us continue to figure out her strengths and her flaws.
Until you get smacked with a wave, like right there, we definitely need to redo this bimini in a different manner and put a Dodger up here. The sky is falling.
And it looks like the wind and waves are not going to let up.
I did it, and I don't feel like I'm gonna puke.
Yay!
So this will be our first real taste of passage life on Ophelia. It'll take some adjustments from what we're used to and some impromptu repairs. But that's all part of the journey.
Ever wish you could escape normal life and experience more of the world?
So maybe on that island.
Well, we did just that. We sold everything we owned on dry land and sailed away.
Promise me that we'll sail away.
Now we are roaming the planet in search of new adventures and sharing it with you every week.
Just promise me that we'll sail away.
So hit subscribe and escape normal with us.
And I'll be yours forevermore.
Come on, it's just that little button down there. That's it.
Not really a last-minute change of plans, but a change of plans. When we got out of the boatyard yesterday, we looked at the weather and decided that today is the best time to go. So it's like 7:30 a.m. We gotta check out of the country. I think we're gonna do one more grocery trip and maybe a budget trip. Did you still need things at budget? And then we're gonna leave. How's everybody feeling? Ready for the trip?
Pretty good, as long as we can get over there and get checked out in less than 4 hours.
Dino has now eyes.
Dino has eyes now.
This is for the girl at the budget.
Y'all.
She's so nice.
Oh, you got 2 now? I didn't even notice that.
That's what I've been working on this entire time.
Well, we just checked out of Grenada, getting ready to head up to the U.S. Couldn't help getting a nice shot of this beautiful boat. Whose boat is that? That's a lot like our boat. That's a privilege, right? Wait, is that our dog?
Yeah.
Is that our boat? What? She looks so pretty. How did that happen? That's a big, long, really big, long dad joke there. Wow. In this direct light, it really looks nice. Hi, Zeke. We're ready to go.
Well, as ready as we were going to be. You see, this boat needs a lot. And that's a big part of why we're about to sail almost 2,000 miles up to the States. Just to be able to afford a lot of the stuff we plan to add or fix. But first, we've got to meet Lauren's dad in St. Thomas, where he'll be arriving with a whole bag of goodies I've already ordered online.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all on the
Next time around, yeah. It might be 2 years.
Yeah.
Are you getting antsy? Ready to leave?
Yeah. No, I just like that boatyard. Stand here.
Okay. That was amazing.
You're supposed to be funny.
You are a goofball. We are officially ready to get out of here.
Right.
And by get out of here, I mean everything is ready. We got the sail bag unzipped, all the lines free, dinghy is up and secured, motors are running, oils are checked, generator fuel's filled up. Everything's in pretty good shape. We are excited to go. As Lauren said, we're leaving. We just got out. We just splashed yesterday, but the wind direction is just so nice for the next 24 hours that we can resist getting moving so that we can get up about halfway through the island chain before the wind starts to go a little northeast, and then we can kind of veer to the west, and it should work out pretty well. Guess we're gonna find out.
This is straight, right?
That's right. That's center rudder. You driving the first shift? All right.
Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to haul up the anchor.
Are we ready? You want to push the button?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a bit of a catch-22 when your boat lacks a lot of the luxuries, or some might say necessities, to do longer passages.
Okay, stop.
But the place where you can actually afford and take shipment of all these things is almost 2,000 miles away. So we were taking a big leap of faith in both ourselves and the boat, that we could get her and ourselves there unscathed, even though she's far less than perfectly outfitted for both living and sailing. But it's a fact that a whole lot of people have gone a lot farther with a whole lot less.
All right, we're up. Now we went that way for 2.5 days, 3 days. As long as we don't break anything. Rivers, it's our first passage. Overnight, yes. Our first overnight passage on this boat.
One job. There we go. All right, now jib out. We are trucking, y'all. Straight up, hauling ass.
We already knew that for a cruising cat, she was pretty darn fast, and definitely faster than anything either of us have done passages on. But how would she hold up to 2 to 3 days straight of stiff wind and possibly rough seas?
Boy, it just sounds calm up here. It's crazy. This is what 9 knots sounds like? Seems impossible. You can even stand up. Look at you. Yeah. What do you think of that, Neat? Not your favorite, right?
A little stormy over there. A little cloudy. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze just in case. You wanna do that? Stand too?
Yeah, a little bit. Lauren found her preferred napping spot, as long as that window's closed. You got a nice bucket awakening. Well, we are really still just kind of getting started. I don't know what time it is. It's got to be what, 3? So we've been sailing for only about 4 hours. It's a lot of salt on that camera. I mean, so far, we are moving. We're definitely averaging about 8 knots and doing better than that most times. No complaints at the moment. We reefed down to double reef when we saw a storm coming, and it turned out to not have any wind in it, but the boat is sailing so well double reefed. You know, it just feels a little more in control, not quite so crazy. So there's really no reason to shake them out. We're doing 8.5 knots. It's kind of hovering right around the 17 to 20 knot wind range, so I'm pretty happy with that. Not gonna mess with it. Whew. How we doing?
Hey.
What's the report? It's the sundown report. Pretty wild ride so far. I think we're doing pretty good. We took a couple of waves over the top of the cabin, sitting out here, and we all got doused. Top of the cabin and the side. I mean, it's a pretty shitty sea state. I mean, to be honest. Beautiful weather so far. Clear skies, just a few clouds here and there. You know, we're out a little bit, but we're passing St. Vincent. And I think we're still getting that funnel effect from the channels between the islands a little bit. It's just really wavy and really confused. We're all over the place because it's just a shitload of waves. You know, I'm also standing up right now. You're not at the moment. But, you know, there's plenty of places that we've been able to sit comfortably, you know, until you get smacked with a wave, like right there. We definitely need to redo this bimini in a different manner and put a Dodger up here. I mean, that's just one of many reasons we're going back to the US, so we can easily get all the stuff to make these things and improve the boat. Other than that, I think it's going really well. I mean, we are just flat out smoking. Running right around 9 knots right now. I would say easily averaging 8.5. Our wind direction doesn't work on our instrument, but just eyeballing it, I'd say we're sailing maybe 55, 60 degrees to the wind, something like that. And I'm hoping that it settles down a little bit out here, especially the waves. We like the wind. We like the wind and the speed, but the waves are a little crazy right now. We'll see what happens over the next day and a half. Right now, if we maintain this speed, we'll be making this trip in about 44 hours or something like that. We'll see how it continues. The boat feels good. She's very balanced. Seems really happy. We'll just keep rocketing along and hopefully not get too much wetter. Good morning, y'all. I hope you can hear me. Again, microphone broke. So I'm going to try to get a fix to that today sometime when I can see. Night 1 is over, and it went pretty good. Other than the sea state being kind of crazy, pretty much from go, it was pretty crazy. Just in the last 2 hours or so, it's kind of organized. It's not calm. It's still a meter and a half, couple meters, but it's much more orderly. It's coming through the same direction for the most part, a little bit longer, steadier waves, and so Our motion's been a lot better just in the last hour or two. Yeah, my shift is just about over. We're warming up for her morning shift. Peace. I'm gonna go get a little bit of sleep myself and I'll wake up and make some breakfast in a little bit.
Short passages of 2 to 3 days are often the most difficult, because it usually takes at least a day to get in the groove of the night shifts and the constant motion, and then you're almost there. Regardless, getting that first day out of the way relatively incident-free is always a big confidence boost.
I did it, and I don't feel like I'm gonna puke.
Yay!
Actual sit-down breakfast on passage. I guess all our breakfasts have been sit-down. They've just been like pack of crackers, maybe a bowl of cereal. I was bound and determined I was gonna actually make a normal breakfast. Just to see if I could.
And once you're in that groove, the new normal of life at sea starts to just come together. And for us still being relatively new to catamaran life, it was a whole different experience.
Oh no, another fish!
Dad, another fish is on the boat.
We are well over the halfway point. We just kind of turned a corner on our route, so to speak. Yes, this is our nav for the time being until we get to St. Thomas. You can see where we are. Sorry, I'm having trouble holding the camera because we were moving. We just kind of rendezvoused with that mark there, and I'm just trying to give myself some points to curve with the wind. The wind is supposed to slowly go a little more northeast, and so our thought was to sort of arc around with it, try to get a little bit of north while we can, instead of pointing straight at St. Thomas and then maybe having to beat up into the wind at the last minute. So it's just been a whole different kind of experience sailing this boat, man. It's kind of wild. You try to do things to sort of slow it down. You know, we reefed to the second reef pretty early just to be conservative, and it doesn't really slow it down. It kind of calms it down though. Makes it lurch a lot less, and you know, with full sails up, it just wants to like shoot off the waves and accelerate like crazy. And so it calms it down, which is good when you're in like sort of rougher seas, which yeah, these are getting a little better than they were. Right now it feels pretty good after turning just that little 5 to 6 degrees down. Really flattened things out. We're not rolling around quite so much. And another drama, the sky is falling. So yeah, that happened. It's not that big a deal. These panels have just these little, like, it almost looks like a wall anchor that pops into a hole to like pop them into place. And after 30 years, some of them are just kind of loose. That's what happens when they're not tight. It doesn't seem to have damaged anything. It knocked that off with all my equipment and into my chair, but everything seems all right. Yeah, gotta fix that when we get in. Otherwise, boat's fine. Just God, everything's salty as hell. Sailing 9 to 10 knots in pretty rough water. There's just water everywhere. As far as the boat goes, sailing-wise, she's doing great. Yeah, everything's working really well, and she's sailing really freaking fast. At least as far as we're concerned, this is faster than I've ever sailed on boat. So, sun's about to go down once again. One more night, and then we'll be looking at St. Thomas in the morning or early afternoon, hopefully. Once the wind dies, you never know.
We and Ophelia were all pretty salty, and we'd shaken a few things loose. But otherwise, we were no worse for wear. One more night to go.
That's right, document that. It's your NA Sundowner.
Cheers to cranberry juice.
Cranberry raspberry juice.
It's delicious.
Gotta have a sundowner when sundown's this nice, right?
Yeah.
Go sit down. Let's go. So it's the beginning of night 2. We have tiny desk concerts inside. We have some confused waves that are slamming our undersides. And outside we have utter darkness. I'm about to officially start my shift. We both just kind of been going out, checking things up, making sure there's no lights on the horizon, make sure everything's operating properly, everything's working as it should. It's just kind of a rough ride. Pretty big waves out there. We are sailing just slightly downwind now, just a little bit off of a beam reach, and doing about 9 to 10 knots still, even with 2 reefs and the jib shortened also. So, just gonna keep lazing through the night, and we'll see you in the morning.
Why don't you go to bed? Morning. The morning, but it's my turn. About 6 hours out, it says from St. Thomas. So that is awesome. We should be at St. Thomas about noon, which will put us at like exactly 48 hours of this trip, which is awesome. Like 12 to 24 hours faster than I thought we would. Definitely been oh my gosh, definitely been really wavy, but we've been really fast. Everything cut out well so far. No complaints there. Just definitely a different motion. Get used to. I did not get used to it the first day, so I'm feeling better. And we're doing it. So here we go.
With our destination in sight, I noticed a rusty link right at the anchor shackle. And since we would be anchoring for a couple of weeks at least, seemed like a good time to take care of it.
Now our chain's going to be like 2 inches shorter.
Let's look at the small part of it.
Yeah.
Not like getting ready to let go, but the rest of them are fine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that old rusty link was much wider open than the rest of the links. So with what we had on hand, it took 2 shackles to make it work. Looks like a new mantis swivel might be in order.
Gotta do what you gotta do. But we will be able to anchor, so that's good. It's not really a good part to sit anymore.
Yep, half of that got knocked off by a wave. Added to the list.
ferry's coming in. Road town faster. High five, Zeke! Yeah, high five! High five, Zeke!
Oh, there you go. Good boy.
High five! High five!
Awesome passage, guys.
We did it!
Freaking crazy time.
That was so bad.
I'm not going to be remiss in getting our passage drink at least within the hour.
Yeah, guess what time it is?
That was a good move right there. Yeah. Cheers. Hey, first, not just a passage drink, first Ophelia passage. And it was a pretty intense, like a big one, you know, 2 days.
Day passage.
400 some miles. And I think Ophelia did beautifully.
We got up to 14 knots something.
Yeah, our high speed was 14.1 knots.
Yeah, and that's our first time going like above 10.
And more importantly, 8.4 or 5 was our average speed. That's
We didn't.
pretty crazy for an average speed.
It felt real slow when we were doing like 6, and then I would
I
look
know.
and be like, but we're still doing 6.
Yeah.
This is real fast.
Didn't turn the motor on once, all the way in the channel, almost entering the harbor here before we turn it on. I give that passage a big thumbs up.
That's a drink.
Passage drink, I just did one, but let's do another one. All right.
Cheers!
Cheers. And we're here in St. Thomas, and we already might have Thanksgiving plans. We might be going to visit Nils and Meredith and Anton and Nate,
Oh, yay. I love those.
formerly of Zion.
I can't wait to see them. Ah!
That's exciting. All right. Well, there you go. We're here.
Soon would begin the mad scramble to get this boat ready for the longest passage we've ever done. But before that, we were going to spend a holiday catching up with good friends.
Alright, well it got a little crazy on the passage, but let's see what this looks like. It's for tomorrow. Let's go. He's not moving either.
What a good boy.